lecturer decided to start teaching a new unit about single mothers and why, in his humble opinion, he thinks that single mothers should not move on too quickly, or rather should not remarry. Instead, they should stick by their children. And obviously, when somebody puts out such a statement out there, your immediate thought is, hey, why are we villainizing the woman who stayed? Why are we villainizing the person who decided to stay and take care of her children? Why are we making a villain out of the person who decided to hold things down when the other partner dipped? Whether they left them, whether they moved on to another woman, whether they died, it doesn't change the fact that they dipped. So we're like, what do you mean that single mothers should not remarry? Are they not deserving of happiness? But he says this is all from his personal experience. He said that his mother was 20 years old, very young, single, and she decided to remarry another man. And he said that this came with a lot of issues. For him, at a very young age, he had to learn the dynamics of family, the dynamics of taking sides, reading the room, being rebellious, working with in-laws, trying to figure out, it's just a very heavy role to put on a child for them to decipher how to move around new people, what to say in front of in-laws. You're always on guard because these are not your people. These are not your relatives. These are your in-laws. They're new to your life. And they're also seeing you as a burden because why did our son marry a woman who had another child? So he said that the dynamic was very difficult on him as a younger child. And he said, it is not stories, Ajaba, I have seen a lot. Do not expect your spouse to feel the same about your children as you do. You find the child going through a lot. The bitterness that I have and all the traumas that he has accumulated only stem from the situation that he was put in at a very young age. He said, stand with your child to the end. Don't think that you will find another partner who will love you, who will love your child the way you do. It is impossible. The thing about stepfathers is a lie. He said that the dynamics he faced caused him to really rebel as a child. And he said, looking back, all the pain and trauma comes from there. And I'm just like, but that's your personal experience. I have seen blended families that work wonders. Let me just give you an example. Are we not seeing Ciara and her man and how Champion is taken in by Russell like his own son? I don't even think a Future has an opinion about this child's life. Russell shows up and shows out in this child's life. So I feel like just because you've had a terrible experience somewhere does not mean you should now sit on your high horse and cancel the whole experience for everybody. Just accept that me, personally as Steve, I had a horrible experience. I will never do this again. In fact, I would not recommend. But trying to force everyone else to just stick beside their children and never move on because there's a chance their children might be hurt. All I'm saying is, as a single mother, you do have the responsibility to put your child first. If you move on into another family, into another dynamic, into a person with his children of his own, it is your responsibility to put them first, to advocate for them, to cheer them on, to not ignore them in favor of your new husband. That is your responsibility. But please, let people find joy after loss, okay? You want to say, I cannot move on, I cannot find another man because my baby daddy did me dirty? That is lies. That is lies, Steven. I refuse to believe it.
Now, someone sent me this video earlier today on TikTok. And first of all, I was like, okay, first, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because it was in vernacular. Guys, I am not Kikuyu, okay? Let's quickly establish.
But
let's just quickly establish I'm not Kikuyu. Yeah. But I do hear a lot of Kikuyu. Like I can understand what you're saying. But I'm just trying to say, please, watch any Kurutumia videos of vernacular. Anyway, I saw the video, checked in. I'm like, hi, what's going on, Steve? Hi. I've always liked his content, so I was like 100% listening to him, right? And he starts off by telling these women, there were two women in studio. Both of them, I think one was single mother. The other one is also, she's a widow. She was a widow, and the other one was a single mother, right? And so when he started the conversation, they actually now really got into it. They're like, okay, tell us more. And then the first thing he does is like, oh, simply because your partner may accept your children doesn't necessarily negate the fact that his family may not accommodate your children. And the moment he said that, immediately I checked out. I just checked out. I tapped to that video. I'm like, 5 minutes? Hell no! I ain't watching this for 5 minutes. This is nonsense garbage. Because guess what? Let's be entirely. Let's be all the way honest. We speak about this on the show quite often. When you and your partner come together, guess what happens? It becomes nuclear family. Everyone else is extended family. Your duty as partners to each other is to ensure that your nuclear family is protected from any stray bullets, any unnecessary drama, any unwanted attention, any dissuading energy. Like, you're protecting your family. You came to this woman, you saw that she had a child, you accepted this child. Because his narrative was, apparently these men use the child to lure the mohiki, right? They use the child, love upon the child, so that they can convince the lady to be with them. And I'm like, already that is a bad precedent that you're using as an example, okay? Because clearly those are isolated issues, but there are other people who just meet and love children. No, I don't understand why he just lopped everyone together into like one batch of like, yeah, every man who's with a single woman is because they're trying to get this woman, therefore they will befriend the child. Back to what I was saying. Your child becomes his child. Your child becomes her child, and your relationship becomes the new relationship. Like every other marriage, like every other relationship, when we tell you, when in-laws and all these other people are coming with their noise, guess what you do? You protect number one. Your priority is your family. So if you're taking your kids to these relatives and the relatives are like, oh, you know, kwanza huyu ni wa nani, hata ana damu yetu, come out. Do you have to be there? Do you have to be there? No. You chose this woman, you chose her child. You chose this man, you chose their child. So it is now your responsibility to give them the best environment for them to be able to nurture that relationship and that family and ensure that this child is an all-rounded child. Let's stop pretending like every single individual who's a step-parent and has had negative words from their relatives has just X'd the person and their child. Let's stop acting as if that's the common knowledge. And the ones who do that, those are weak people who did not want to be in that relationship to begin with. So let's stop lopping people together, okay? Mr. Steve, hey, me, I agree with you on a lot. But this one, I just say, I'm sorry for your experience, but you need to learn from that trauma, and I think maybe see someone about it, because clearly it's really hurt you. And now you're pushing the wrong messaging out there. Please heal. It's difficult, but please heal. And I'm really sorry that your mom and your parent-in-law didn't step in for you. That's really sad. I feel bad for that whole situation.